Hey guys, Marcus Buff Bagwell here. Man, Chase Brogan just sent me a video of Scott Steiner and myself, January 1998, and blown away. I don't remember it. I don't remember the video. I don't remember doing it in the ring. But as I watched it, I couldn't believe how Scotty followed what I was doing. Scotty is such a leader, and he's very funny about, not being following somebody and doing what they did. But it was a great interaction between us. It was the thing where I do the double buy and he does the double buy back, and I do the Hogan thing and he does that, and then I go, watch this, and then I go down to a knee and I come up with a double buy again, and he does all of it. And I'm like, oh my God, it's crazy. But what I saw that I didn't know is that I had gotten into a little better shape before Scotty. Now, let's clear the air here. Everybody wanted to look like Scott Steiner. He had the best body in the business. A lot of people argue that and say no, that they like mine better. But I can tell you every alpha male wanted to be 270 and look like Scott Steiner. I had a great physique and had a great run, but we all in the back of our minds, Scott Steiner from head to toe was a genetic freak. He just simply was. But in this January video, I was leaner. The Scotty always looked great, but when he got lean, he was crazy looking now. But in this video, he's actually smooth, and I couldn't believe it. I had a little bit of abs coming in, so I never remembered having a little bit tighter body than Scotty had, but it was a very short-lived time because, brother, I'll never forget, he had that dark hair there, and it couldn't have been more than a month, no more than 2 months for sure, after that January 1998 clip that he showed up. It was in Sacramento, California, and he showed up, and the elevator doors opened, and me and Luger saw Scott Steiner with his blonde hair. And we're like, oh my God. And when you see a haircut for the first time and you like it instantly, it's going to be a good haircut. Because that drastic of a change could be bad, but it was instantly like, wow, that's going to work, brother. And of course, Lex was like, why'd you copy Buff's hair? And Scott's like, my hair's blonde. My hair's blonde. And I was like, Scotty, don't worry about it, man. He's just joking with you. But when he got the hair, that was in California. We had the Cow Palace where he turned on Rick with the black hair mullet. And then he went straight after turning on Rick, and he turned that hair blonde. And buddy, the body was right behind it. He was right on the edge of being really lean anyway. But, the competition between me and Scotty really was never between us. It was always between the boys. Me and Scotty were very tight, as tight as you can get to Scott Steiner. Me and Scotty were. We didn't train together because he trained at crazy hours. He would train at like midnight. So the competition between me and Scotty really, it was the boys that kind of stirred it. I remember Scotty getting, I'll never forget what kind of broke me and Scotty up. And again, there's always three sides to every story. There's my side, there's Scotty's side, the other person's side, and then there's the truth. And a lot of years, this is 25 years, guys, that's going between it. But what I remember happening is we went to the ring, and Scotty didn't hand me the microphone. After he did it, he'd do the holler if you hear me. And then I'd do the microphone and say, I'm Buff and I'm the stuff. And then he would wrestle, and I managed him, and it worked phenomenally. Well, he didn't hand me the microphone back. And I was like, Scotty, what's going on? He goes, I just forgot. And then he did it again the next time. And then finally I just went to Eric. I said, Eric, look, I don't need Scotty, and Scotty don't need me. So he's like, perfect. So he broke us up, but that was the start of us not being together anymore. But the boys just were always, in Scotty's ear. Bagwell's catching you. And Bagwell wanted to look like him, but he just let it mess with him, I think. But, we both were shooting for the same thing. We both wanted to look the best that we could. Scotty's a bigger guy than me, so he was bigger with more muscles. He was a bigger guy. He weighed more than I did. So he was a 260 with abs, and I was a 230 with abs. Great guy. Loved all of his stuff all the way, always with him in the ring. It was a lot of fun. It's just the differences of times you train, and differences of whether you do cardio. His cardio was he tied a tire around his waist and drug a chain around with a tire through his neighborhood, and he didn't check his heart rate or make sure he just Steinered it, which is what they do, and it works. But I'm on there, checking my heart rate to make sure it's right between 20 and 25 beats in a 10-second period. And Scotty's dragging a tire through the subdivision with neighbors calling the police. It's just a different format. But love Scott Steiner to death. Always have, always will. And just very glad to be a part of the fun stuff we had. We did a lot of great stuff together. Big Papa Pump and Buff Bagwell had a lot of great stuff, and just always remember it.